Okay, hi everyone. Master students, and obviously we have Louise and Amber. We're in our second year, our final year, and so we've put together a PowerPoint to just share some of our experiences in the course and what we've learnt. So thanks for coming, and yeah. So I thought I'd start with the course itself and mention that it's pretty hard, not to scare everyone away, but it's also very rewarding. So um, you get a lot of opportunities in the course, and I put a few pictures on so I can kind of illustrate them. But um, one of the opportunities is like you get to travel to so many locations that you probably normally wouldn't think of or go to. Um, Sometimes you don't get a choice, and that's probably for the it's probably a good thing. But in my case, I went to Dubbo last year, and earlier this year I went to Canberra. So we had a lot of pediatric clients, and the experience was pretty good. I remember a lot of parents writing in and saying thank you, so it was quite rewarding in that sense. So um, yeah, it was very good. And you also make new friends, presented with so many opportunities, and be able to work with all sorts of people. Um, and you'll learn a lot through those things about what it's like to be an audiologist. So one of these opportunities, I was lucky enough to participate in the Junior Science Academy, which is just upstairs. And so it hosts events for kids with hearing loss to come and do fun things like build rockets, make ice cream, and all that kind of stuff, which, to be honest, I had no idea how to do. And I thought that was a pretty unique and pretty fun and rewarding experience that I don't think I probably would have been given if I wasn't in the course or in the program or I guess, yeah, at the uni. So just small events like this kind of make a big difference. They open your eyes up to a lot of things, and it's not something that gets advertised necessarily when you like apply for the course or think about audiology. But um, it's good to mention that these small things happen. They do come up, and if you do get into the course, I recommend taking them because you learn a lot, and you can use your experience to kind of tailor your own programs one day and make a difference yourself, which is nice. So yeah, they're building some UFOs and the bottoms of rockets, and we got a nice group photo. So some other opportunities I thought I'd just put up, and one is you get to do research if you'd like in your second year. So to me, that was something I was interested in, and I was lucky to do that with John Newell. So he's the convener of the course, and you're quite fortunate enough at the uni to kind of work with some of the audiology celebrities, I guess. Yeah, everyone here is pretty well known, and they have a lot of knowledge. So I'm actually doing research on jargon in audiology. So we're looking at what words ordinary people don't understand, so we can better tailor appointments and make more meaning out of the appointments. So having that real world research, I think, is pretty nice. But it extends to whatever really like there's a lot more complex research some of our classmates are doing, and I don't really understand what's going on, to be honest. But um, the opportunities are quite endless in that regard. So that's pretty cool too. I thought I'd put that up if you're interested. It's not compulsory, but uh, yeah, and making new friends. Obviously, we're quite a tight bunch in the cohort. So we go on road trips and stuff, and we've all made friends that way. So, and I put a photo of Stewart House, which is a an organisation for disadvantaged children, um, and we do hearing tests and screening there. So that's been pretty good too. Like working with kids is quite not an opportunity you often get. So to do that is pretty fantastic. And I put a photo of the beach because everyone that goes there says the view is awesome. um, yeah, and then put a photo of the class because we get lots of guest lecturers come in, and they have a wealth of experience, and it's quite nice to see what they have to say. And if you're like really geeking out on it, you might get their signature on some of your textbooks or something. So, and I think at Louise, you've got Harvey Dillon's. Yeah, so he's in charge of the National Acoustics Laboratory. So once again, big names. But you'll become more familiar with them once you actually do the course. And yeah, and of course we have hearing matters downstairs. I didn't want to leave you guys out, but there's also different companies down here. I think there's Stewart House as well, and the clinic. So there's we're all like quite interconnected. So it's a good opportunity to kind of move around and do lots of stuff here, which is nice. Um, but also you get to work in like diagnostic settings. So Liverpool Hospital is a place where we all get in our degree over the 2 years. I think at least we get it once, and it's quite different to what you'd expect in a clinic, like just here. It's very diagnostic with a focus on dizziness and balance, I'd say. So you see a lot of things you not normally would see in audiology, which is hard to access, and it's a good experience. So there's a wealth of different environments you can put yourself in and see what it's like through the course, which is pretty cool. So yeah, audiology has many domains. Um, you could end up in cochlear implantation or pediatric screening after the newborn hearing screening, doing ABRs or whatever, um, or in a hospital doing diagnostic and vestibular assessments, or even manufacturing hearing aids or being in a company. So the experiences that way are quite endless. And you don't really know where you end up. And I guess that's sort of the fun of it. We're all trying to figure out right now. We're going through job hunting. So um, yeah, there's definitely room for your passions, and once you find that, it's out there. So I thought that's pretty cool because usually people think audiology is hearing aids and rehabilitative, but it's really more than that. So yeah, one thing I've learned through the course is that it's not explicitly said, but you kind of experience so that everyone has their own path. When you start seeing clients on placements, some people are more emotional about their hearing loss, or others aren't. And I think it's important to understand that so we can kind of better tailor our treatments and how we deal with our clients, because um, the better we know them, the better we can kind of tailor our solution to them. So it's not something I quite have thought of when I started the course, but once I started doing placements, seeing people, I was like, wow, it's a pretty important thing to kind of realize. So that's something I kind of want to take with me into my future endeavors, but also leave with you. I think it's something you should kind of hold in the back of your mind. It's pretty important. And there's obviously, I think there's a great importance on collaborating with patients to kind of make these goals and make things happen, because it's on the ownership of the client. You can't tell them to do something if they don't want to do it. So um, yeah, you need to set goals with them, and then it becomes more meaningful and more important. It seems a bit like an obvious thing, but to me, I think care really extends beyond just the initial appointment. Um, like fitting someone with hearing aids is like a quite base, it's a standard thing. But all the care that goes on afterwards is just as important. And it's quite rare, at least that I've seen in clinic, where people come back with their hearing aids and there's no problems. There's always something that people um, will like fix or touch up upon. And I think that's really important because that all contributes to the experience. So yeah, um, and yeah, we don't want to let people fit in with hearing aids and let them go. I found with my experience, a lot of people come back to see the clinician there they know and they trust and they're more familiar with. Um, I don't get to see that, but obviously when patients come in, they're like, oh, hey, Craig, or hey, Andrew, how's it going? Like, and they tell them about what's happened the last six few months. And I think that's quite nice. I think that's something I like to have with my patients. It's a bit more of a patient-centered approach, just to show that we care a lot and that we're not just there to sell them hearing aids and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, that's something I've kind of picked up in clinic, and I thought that's very important. Yeah. What I've also found useful is that when some people write down notes, it's can really help guide the appointment and like how things should be done. I guess I think we've all been in a situation where we go to a GP or something, and you got like 10 questions before, and then once you sit in the appointment, you're like, oh, I forgot everything, and then you end up asking one question. So um, I just thought I'd chuck that on there. Like it would be quite useful to write down notes and come back to things in case you forget. So I put a bit of emphasis on this, but we can help people in so many ways that make a big difference. Um, so audiology, this encompasses a lot. So we can be helping pediatrics and children with congenital deafness um, or with microtia or something like that, which is a malformation of the ear. Or we could be helping elderly with age-related hearing loss to improve the quality of life, help with depression and dementia and falls like that. So uh, there's a variety of domains, balance disorders. So we have this thing called BPPV, which is when you get dizzy suddenly and short movements. So there's a variety of problems. It's not just, I guess, what you might see in commercials and advertisements. And I thought that was worth mentioning. And yeah, there's sensory neural disorders in more complex cases, and with people unfortunately have tumors and stuff like that, or they go through Meniere's, and so surgery needs to be conducted. So that's kind of all I had to say. I might pass you on to Amber next, but if you've got, or Louise, sorry, but if you've got any questions at the end, just come up and just have a chat with us. We're all pretty easygoing, and we'll share with you our experiences, and yeah.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Louise. Um, so about myself, so I'm now in my second year, also the last year of this course. I hold multi degrees before starting this course, so this is actually my fourth master degree. Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, I love studying. So I did something. I did international relations at University of Bristol at UK. I did translation and interpreting and conference interpreting here at Macquarie. And then work a little bit. I worked in customer service in retail, and also I worked as a front house and clinical assistant in here in Australia for 3 years before I started this course. So I also am a volunteer for Hearing Matters Australia here. So I help them writing, interpreting, and do some proofreading. I have also helped take videos about how to maintain your hearing aids. So you probably will see my face later when they release our video. I also help like other organizations like Melba and Carrot Gateway. That's mainly for Mandarin speaking clients because one of my languages is Mandarin. So yeah, that's about me. So when we look at audiology, it's a very new profession. So in Australia, it started actually in 1940s, mainly because of two factors. The first factor is a number of there's a number of returned servicemen from World War II, and the second factor is a rubella outbreak in 1940 and 1941 that affects a lot of children at that time. So from 1947, our National Acoustic Laboratory starts doing hearing tests and fitting hearing aids for those servicemen and for those children. And until 1967, they start and did hearing services for pensioners. So it's a quite new profession. If you look at this machine, so it's a audiometer in 1940s. So that's occupied 90% market share at that time. It looks like today's audiometer, but it's with very basic functions. So we can change between ears. And also we can increase frequency and we can increase volume as well. It has a headphone, look like today's headphone, but in a very basic manner. And very interesting. So the first audiologists in Australia, they're actually psychologists. They're no audiologists. They just did some postgraduate training in hearing and speech therapy. So I think it kind of makes sense because we do need to know something about patients' psychology and their what they think about our profession and how we can build up rapport and gain their trust very quickly in our 1 hour appointment. So how to become an audiologist in Australia? Well, it's a very, very small profession. So at the moment, we only have 3,000 audiologists in Australia, serve the whole nation. This figure say here is like 2,600. I think this is a figure in 2021. So at the moment, we have more than that. To become an audiologist in Australia, you have to spend at least 5 years at uni. So that's including 3 years undergraduate and 2 years postgraduate. So we do have to study a lot. There are only like 7 universities offering postgraduate degree in audiology. So in New South Wales, we only have Macquarie University, so one and only. And then in Victoria, we have 2 universities, University of Melbourne and La Trobe, and then Queensland, Flinders at SA, and Western Australia and Charles Darwin University. There's no universities providing this course in Tasmania, unfortunately, so they have to come here to do the course. And studying is not the end. So after completing this course, we need to do 1 year internship. So it's clinical internship. We have to sit next to an experienced audiologist, and then we learn from them for about 6 to 12 weeks, and then we start seeing clients on our own. But of course, at the same time, we can ask their questions and get their support. And after that, we can become accredited audiologist, but that accreditation only lasts for a year. So every year you need to renew your membership. You have to demonstrate you are still very capable and then you have enough sufficient professional development over the previous 12 months. So I have to say that it's a very small profession, but also we have to keep up to date with the current technology and trend. So this is actually my phone Snapchat. So you can have a look. My phone used to be like got all the pictures like you guys, right? Got like got myself selfies, got my daughter's phone, got my pet, my house, everything. But now it's full of ears. So you can see got like eardrum, got an audiogram and different like waveforms. And this is a beautiful head cells in our ear. So I got everything about ears in my phone now. Yes, so that's how to become audiologist in Australia. Andrew mentioned a little bit about why we chose Macquarie, not just because we don't want to go to other states, but also because Macquarie University got lots of lectures and educators are internationally renowned for their academic achievements. And we have this beautiful building here, Australia Hearing Hub. It has multiple organizations, not just Hearing Matters Australia. It also have other organizations to support our learning and placement. We have lots of manufacturers actually just around this campus, like Auticom and GR Result. They are just located in North Ryde. And we have Macquarie University is also the first Australian university have a private hospital and ENT service on site. And we have Macquarie Speech and Hearing Clinic. They gave us like really good high quality clinical placement and learning opportunities. We have a lot of manufacturers workshop. So just name a few big names like Phonak, General Sound, Cochlear, Signia, Audicon, Starkey, Medel. So they come to see us and give us the presentations on what is a trend in audiology. Okay, so Amber will give you more information about what we have learned in the last 2 years. But basically, we're very, very busy. I'm a mom of two, so it just makes me extra busy. So this is just basically this one actually like during exam period. So yeah, we have 16 units, and then we have 160 credits to do before graduate. And we have placement, and we have to do 250 hours. They are not hours, it's like you sit there, you observe other people do. No, it's direct, it's hours you have to contribute to the appointments. So you actually have to get hands-on experience. You have to help the clients during the appointments, which is not easy. Here just some placement I have done. So I was in Audica. I was helping TAFE New South Wales to do the ear train training. I was in Gosford Hospital and Wyong Hospital, and also was in Liverpool Hospital as well, and did a lot of training, a lot of placement in Macquarie Speech and Hearing Clinic, and also helping Stewart House and also public school student screenings. So this is just a few, and I'm going to Wollongong and Nara this year later to help people there. Okay, talk about the future of our profession. So we know that Australia has an aging population, so this profession is actually growing. It's a bad news for Australian people, but it's a good news for us, unfortunately. So currently, 1 in 6 Australians are affected by hearing loss, and this figure is going to be 1 in 4 in 2050. We have 3.6 million people who have some level of hearing loss, and 1.3 million of them, the hearing loss are actually preventable. Yeah, there's a shortage in audiologists worldwide, but in Australia, we are in shortage as well. So let's have a figures like in 2021. So we have like 29 audiologists per 100,000 people, which is not enough. And then each audiologist only work 22.2 hours per week. Average age is 50.6, and it's a female domination profession. So we have 86.2 females, which is very family friendly in other words. We have 25% of audiology actually age 60 or plus. So that's a good news for us again. Yeah, unfortunately, we have 0 Aboriginal audiologists. This is something we have to work on in the future. In Australia, like in New South Wales, things are quite different. So in Sydney, so per 100,000 people, we have 28 audiologists. But in rural area, we only got 8. So that means, you know, like probably you won't be able to see one audiologist in the town you live. So some people have to drive hours to see an audiologist. So sometimes they have to stay over in the town before they can go back to their own place. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn and to grow into an amazing audiologist. So I think we have to seize that opportunity and start our career. Yeah, so thank you for listening. Just want you to take care and stay connected to the sound of life. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask us. But at the same time, remember this. All right, I'll pass it on to my colleague Amber.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here to explain my insights on the Masters of Clinical Audiology course and my experiences. Okay, so throughout the course, we have gained a great understanding of the various aspects of audiology. The curriculum is well structured, dividing the essential topics across the 2 years of study. So we initially started our first semester learning about the basics of how we acquire, perceive, and produce speech. This was a very interesting topic as it emphasized the significant impact a hearing loss can have on our ability to hear speech, and specifically the types of speech sounds that are affected. This was also important in understanding how children acquire speech and therefore how a hearing loss impacts this development. The first semester also covered the basic anatomy and physiology of the auditory system and the basic audiometric test for adults. Our clinical practicum unit, which we had every semester, was my favorite unit as it solidified all the content we were learning during the semester and focused on more practical aspects of our learning. We were given opportunities to practice our practical skills in performing the basic tests, and we learned about other clinical aspects such as patient and clinician communication. This ensured we were ready for placement and had the skills and knowledge necessary to get involved in clinical activities. So semester one, you're thrown a lot of heavy content and there's a lot of new information, but it was really important for preparing us for placement experiences and to form our basic knowledge and understanding for the semesters ahead. Then semester two, we start to learn more about more specialized assessments and tests for assessing pediatrics and children. We also had a unit on hearing aids, which provided the basics of how hearing aids work and an understanding of all the basic hearing aid features. We had practicals where we could play around with different styles of hearing aids and how to perform hearing aid measures. And this is where we started to learn about the holistic approach in working with clients and helping them on their hearing aid journey. Educating and counseling clients on how hearing aids work and the benefits of amplification for their everyday life, and helping the client to establish goals to achieve better outcomes for themselves for their everyday lives. And then again, our clinical practicum unit consolidated our learning for the other units, but also helped us develop our skills in interpreting results and reporting on this, so helping our written communication skills. Okay. And then second year. So semester one, we started to further our understanding of the advanced features of hearing aids and other types of devices such as cochlear implants. Again, we were provided opportunities and practicals to play around with hearing aids and different softwares to see the effects of different features. We also had a research design skills unit where we had to investigate the current literature and develop our own research proposal. This unit really helped me develop my skills in critically evaluating research papers, which is something I'll talk about later, but it's a very important skill for our futures as audiologists. Again, we had our clinical practicum unit where we learned about ethics, more on client communication, and a major focus on developing our problem-solving skills, integration, and interpretation of results. And then my absolute favorite unit of the course was the strategies of oral rehab unit. So this unit focused on patient journey, different types of communication training, such as group programs, the many impacts of hearing loss at home and work, and involved some focus on public health, where we learned about how noise-induced hearing loss is prevented and detected in real-world settings. I absolutely love this unit. It provided us with so many insights in the impacts of hearing loss from a community level to the individual level, and how there are so many different influences on the individual's experience with hearing loss, such as their personal values, the financial status, their family, work, and so on. And then this semester, so we're only like 2 to 3 weeks in, but this semester we're completing units on audiology and public health, principles of management of childhood deafness, complex case management, and our clinical practicum unit. As we are finishing our degree, we are looking at more specialized areas and broadening our understanding on the impacts of hearing loss and the various approaches to managing these impacts. Okay, so my key insights. So learning about the anatomy and physiology of the auditory system and the basic assessments, along with the development of our problem-solving and clinical decision-making skills, we are provided with the skills to integrate and interpret results. However, more importantly, the course has emphasized the importance of a holistic approach to audiology, considering not just the physiological aspects of hearing loss, but also the psychological and social impacts. This has prepared us to offer more comprehensive, patient-centered care to future clients. I've always been really passionate about making a difference and helping clients along their hearing journey, but now we have been provided the actual skills and knowledge to complete this in the future. Another crucial insight is the value of interdisciplinary collaboration. Working with other healthcare professionals enhances the quality of care and ensures that all aspects of a patient's needs are addressed. The importance of research and evidence-based practice has been a recurrent theme, especially in our research unit earlier this year. Understanding the latest research ensures that the interventions and technologies we use in our everyday clinic life is backed by solid scientific evidence, and we are providing the best services for our clients. The practical components of the course, particularly the placements, have been invaluable. They have allowed me to apply my learning in real-world scenarios, gaining confidence and competence in clinical settings. I've had placements at hospitals, school screenings at Stuart House, and then audiology clinics here and Amplifon and Audica, with a range of different populations from kids to older adults. I've seen hearing aid fittings to vestibular testing, which was super interesting, and even having the chance to travel up the coast to Gosford and Wyong Hospital, which was really fun. Getting exposure to a variety of different experiences is not only so informative and has deepened my understanding along the way, it was also really fun and exciting. We're also able to book the clinic rooms across the hall at the speech and hearing clinic to practice our practical skills on friends and family, which is fun. Understanding the public health approach to audiology has highlighted the broader implications of hearing health, including prevention, early detection, and community-based rehab. We are covering this further in a unit this semester, which I'm very excited about. But overall, this course has thoroughly prepared me for a career in clinical audiology, providing me with the knowledge, skills, and practical experience needed to excel in this field. I'm really passionate about the rehab side of audiology, and so I truly believe the most valuable thing that I've learned is the importance of patient-centered care. Not only treating our clients with respect and compassion, but tailoring our care to suit the needs and goals of the client in front of you, supporting our clients' understanding and learning about their own hearing health, and collaborating with our client on their healthcare decisions. And in addition, practical activities and placement experiences has helped me to develop my confidence in myself and also my ability to support future clients. These past 2 years have really deepened my passion for audiology, and I am so genuinely excited for my future career to support clients on their hearing journey. And that's all. Thank you.